gentlemen, Greg Koch here. Fishman Central is where I am at this particular point in time out here in the Boston area. Beautiful Massachusetts. We're having some fun today with these Loudbox Amplifier, the greatest selling acoustic amp of all time. Can you dig it? Right now I'm playing the Mama Bear version, if you will, the middle zone of the Loudbox family. And that is the Loudbox Artist. I feel like busting out some watercolors right now and painting me a giant Sasquatch with beautiful watercolors. Is that weird? I don't think so. Listen, this particular amplifier has 120 watts. That's enough to get yourself in a little bit of trouble. And I like to get in a lot of trouble, but be that as it may. 120 watts, bi-amped. What more do you want? 8-inch speaker, 1-inch tweeter, working together in concert, providing dulcet tones for the listener and the player. Has 2 channels, and the 2 channels allow you can plug an instrument into one channel, you can plug your vocal mic into the other channel, have a little self-contained PA right at your fingertips. There's also Bluetooth capability. You could pair your Bluetooth device with this amplifier, play some ancillary tracks. Perhaps you want a little going on, some vocal tracks in the back while you're playing. I don't know why you want to do that, but maybe you do. Or maybe you want some conga as you're playing along. You can do that. You can do a little guitar karaoke, whatever feels right. Or you can just play some jams in between your sets so that people aren't going, why is there no sound going on? Well, there is now. I got my Bluetooth device. I just paired it to this thing, and now we're listening to a little bit of Puff Daddy. Can you dig it? Wow, that's weird. Listen, there's also the ability to go out of this amplifier into a larger PA to rock people's brains in a major kind of way. You can either do a mixed DI. What does that mean? That means that you can actually employ the effects on this amplifier and have that go out to the PA, or you just do a dry signal out that's just a direct signal so that your front of house engineer can work his or her magic at the control console as they sport that killer mullet and about 15 laminates. Can you dig it? Wow. Can you tell I've been a little caffeinated on this one? No, I wasn't caffeinated at all. Anyway, okay, we're continuing on. We're moving on. All right. So what's great about these amplifiers is that they have effects on board that you can have a little bit of fun with. I have a tendency to err on the side of just a little bit of reverb, but sometimes adding a little bit of delay or modulating effects like chorus or flanger is nothing but what I like to call a little bit of good, clean fun. So right now, let's just talk a little bit about the channel I'm in. This is kind of how my go-to setting is. I have all of the EQ at 12 o'clock, just so low, mid, highs are all at 12 o'clock. I got the gain somewhere around 10 o'clock. That depends on the instrument I'm playing, but for this one, that seems to be about consistent with what I do at home with my Martin guitar with the Fishman pickup. And I've got the master volume a little bit about noonish. There are 2 different effects banks on this amplifier. Right now I'm in effects bank A, and I'm on the first reverb, which sounds like this. I'm just gonna turn the reverb up a skosh just so you can hear the difference. So let's hear what the other reverb sounds like. So that's the first reverb. Here's the second reverb. It's going to sound a little bit like this. Sounds like you're in a big old church or something, doesn't it? You can also go a little skosh down so it's not so crazy. There's also some delay effects that you can mess with, and here's the level of the delay, and then here is the time of the delay. So you can get a little crazy with it. Or you can go on a kind of a shorter delay. It sounds like something like this. Sounds cool, right? So that's the first effects bank. Again, I like to just usually have a little bit of reverb on there, so that's what I'm going to go back to. The second bank of effects allows you to have a couple of different choruses of flanger. and a slap echo. So let's see what those sound like. I'm going to press this button right here, which allows me to get into that second bank of effects. And here's the depth control, which kind of gives you the ability to accentuate those effects a little bit more. Okay, that's the first chorus. Here's the second one. A little different. Here's the flanger. Okay, and there's also more of just kind of a slap effect. You get the idea. You can use effects on both channels, so it's kind of fun that you can manipulate the different things. One person's taste on effects on channel A might be different from channel B, and you can make that work. So that's all good, clean fun. These amplifiers are great. What I like to say about these things is that, you know, even if you're playing at home and you're not really going out and gigging, it's fun to play through one of these amps, because I find that as someone who plays electric guitar a lot more than I play acoustic guitar, when I do play acoustic, in order to get the sounds out of it that I want, I kind of dig in a little bit more, and it's, well, just because of the bigger gauge of the strings and, you know, the activities of with your right and left hand. If you are playing in a room that's a little bit drier sounding and you can't get a lot of ambience, you have a tendency to dig in a little bit harder, and it takes its toll on your hands and so on and so forth. So I find I'm a lot more dynamic in my playing if I play with an amplifier at home as well. So I like to practice with an amp, and it's just, you know, it's just more satisfying to have that a little bit more expensive sound, if you will. Of course, in a reflective surface, an acoustic instrument sounds magnificent, but able to plug it into in a room that maybe isn't so reflective and be able to get some of these more ambient sounds is not only fun to listen to, but it's fun to play through. So there's that. Then there's the idea of using it as a monitor on stage for someone who maybe is not using it so much to project to the crowd, but wants to be able to hear themselves on stage in a way that maybe a standard monitor doesn't kind of do the trick. It's fun to have the amplifier actually on stage and shooting at your head so that you can hear what's going on. Or, as I said, as a standalone unit for just performing someplace where you're not really cranking, but it's still plenty loud for most areas. You can plug two people into this doggone thing and engage in a variety of musical activities. Maybe you're by the Cinnabon counter at the mall and you're engaging in a little bit of busking activity. Playing songs in exchange for delicious treats, like cinnamon buns covered and slathered in mysterious sauces. That's weird, but hey, whatever it takes. Whatever gets you through the night. What? What happened there? Kind of a metal version of John Lennon. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in. These Loudbox amplifiers are a lot of fun, so if you haven't had a chance to check one out, do so. You will not be sorry. They are the #1 selling acoustic amp of all time, and there's a reason for that. Good, clean fun, and very useful as well. So I'm Greg Koch. I'm here in beautiful Andover, Massachusetts at Fishman HQ. We'll see you cats soon. Adios.